Hello, friends. Welcome back. It's been a long time, huh? Yeah, so sorry this vlog is late. Things have been very busy. As you can see, my makeup is like all smeary. I don't know what's going on with that. That's a thing happening. So in this vlog is about what happened in February. And unfortunately, I didn't really take a lot of videos of this, and I really should have, but I ran an ultramarathon. So it has been on my bucket list to run an ultra since I knew that they existed. I learned about them, I want to say, back in 2018 when I finally decided to run a normal marathon. And I was like, oh my god, like I want to do this. There's some beautiful, beautiful documentaries on YouTube that you can check out if you just Google ultramarathon documentaries that runner video producers have made, and they're gorgeous and so inspiring. And I saw them and I was like, that's insane and so badass, and I really want to try that. So I did. It took me 20 weeks of training to get ready for this one. It was a 50K, so a baby ultramarathon. It barely counts. It's only 31 point something miles, so I think it's 31.8, but I could be wrong. So it's only, you know, 5 or 6 miles longer than a marathon is. So not terrible. The difference, though, is that it is on a trail. The one that I did was trail running at Hagg Lake in Gaston, Oregon. It was beautiful, but it was muddy, hilly, and insane. The terrain is ridiculous. So I did it. I survived. My time was not great, but it wasn't, my goal was not to go fast. It was just to survive, honestly, because it takes you so long. Road times for trail racing are like, you can't get anywhere close to whatever your road time would be. When I ran a marathon back in 2018, I think I averaged like 9 minutes and 30 seconds per mile, you know, pretty stately turtle plodding along. And at the trail race, I think we averaged something like 13 something, because it was just so slow going. And then also we took a break in the middle because of the way that the route was set up. We camped out for a little while, for like 20 minutes or so then that added some time onto there as well. But yeah, I survived running 31 miles through the woods. And to my dad, if you ever watch this, I was definitely running. The first thing my dad said to me when I called him to tell him that I had done the race was, at that pace, you could have been walking. Wrong. If you were walking the race, it would have been like 20 minutes a mile. Freaking impossible. Oh my god, the terrain was ridiculous. So I guess, though, to be fair, I did have to kind of power hike up some of the hills. Almost all of the hills going up, but all of the flats and downhills, I definitely was running very slowly. Yeah. So, I know it's some details from the day of the race. I guess I should just recount to you how it all went down. So I had the race packet pickup was at 6 a.m. between 6 and 7, because the race started at 7. Because the race started at 7 a.m. I got up, I was planning on getting up at 5 o'clock, get dressed, have coffee, eat a bagel, go to the bathroom. That last bit is very important because you don't want to have to poop while you're running in the middle of the woods with nowhere to go but behind trees. So what happened was I laid awake all night long, unable to sleep, because I was running this race with my friend and my brother-in-law's fiance, Kate. Shout out to Kate if you ever saw this. She was awesome. Best person to be stuck running for 7 hours through the woods with. She was gonna run it with me, and she's like an insane badass. Like, she ran the San Diego Marathon a couple months ago and placed like second overall. Like, she's a beast. fucking crazy. And her time, I think, was like a Boston qualifying time. And she's just like chillax about it, doesn't even think twice about it. So I'm running I know I'm going to run this with Kate, and like my people we're short, we're buff, we're stocky. Like I'm not a gazelle. I'm not built for this, you know? And I was just so worried that I guess that she was going to hate me for having to slow her down. So all night long, I'm laying there, I'm worrying about this, and then I cannot sleep. I don't sleep at all. I get up at 5 and I feel relief because I no longer have to lay there participating in this sleeping charade. I get up, I just get dressed, and my family was actually coming with me this time to go support the race. And it takes us so long to all get dressed, going in and out of the bathroom, that I don't get a chance to have coffee, eat food, or go to the bathroom. So we then get in the car for an hour-long drive to where the race is. And I get in the car, I take my coffee and my food with me, I start to drink the coffee, and instantly have to poop. Unfortunately, by this time, we're driving in the middle of nowhere through a bunch of vineyards, and it's 5:15 in the morning. There's nowhere for me to go. My stomach was having horrible cramps. I can't eat the bagel, and I'm like basically like labor style breathing to stop from pooping in the car. I was telling my husband, I'm like, if we don't find a bathroom soon, I'm just gonna have to go crap behind some farmers like grapevines right now. Like I cannot control myself. Fortunately, after an hour of suffering through that, I managed to not poop myself, but I couldn't eat anything. I get out at the race and like run to the outhouse, and yes, was okay. Did not poop my pants. So I haven't had any coffee though, and I certainly haven't eaten anything because my stomach is all fucked up. And then I have to get my bib, and then off we go, and we're starting the race. So I make this plan that I'm going to, after the first like 6-mile out and back of the course, when it comes back around towards the start line, I will get a bagel from my husband, the one that I brought with me, and I will eat that. And then my caffeine source will be from the various gels or whatever that I will consume. And I had one right at the start line with like, you know, some caffeine in it because I was worried about getting like a caffeine headache because I love my coffee. I'm a drug addict. So we start off the race and we finish the out and back, and then I realized that I have kind of miscalculated, and you actually start the first loop of the lake. So the course goes around Hagg Lake. You go around the course without coming back towards the start line. So now I'm starting this 13-mile loop after running the first out and back section. I'm starting that fasted. Great. I don't run fasted. Nope. I definitely like my food, need my carbs, to have to eat something. So we're going along, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just committed now. I'm going to do whatever I can. And I know that actually we're going to encounter some aid stations, but I didn't remember at what point on that loop we were going to run into them. So I'm kind of like holding out, praying that we're going to run into one at some point. And I come along a corner in the trail, maybe, I don't know, it's hard to keep track, 10 miles in or so. And my husband is actually waiting for me at a corner with our family, and he's brought my bagel and delivers it to me. So I then proceed to smash a bagel in my mouth while proceeding down the course because I'm so freaking hungry. Oh my God. So at that point in the race, things kind of just like the major crisis was over. The beginning part was probably the most chaotic. After that, it was just surviving the rest of the run. So I ended up I ate a lot of food as I was going, which I felt very lucky that my stomach can handle that. I ate half the bagel, saved half for later. I ended up eating that. I carried it with me through the second half of the course, referring to it as my comfort bagel because, anything could go wrong, but I knew I'd be okay because I still had half a bagel inside of my running belt, smashed up in a napkin. Yes. Every aid station, I ate kind of whatever I felt like sounded good. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, pickles, gels. I went through so much electrolyte water. Like I took the approach of just drink when I was thirsty. And like most long distance runs, I was more thirsty towards the beginning and then less thirsty towards the end. some stories on peeing afterward that were interesting that I had learned. So yeah, it was kind of, yeah. So I ate my way through all the aid stations. Another thing, oh yeah, so one thing that made me feel a lot better about doing the race was the night before I made a post on bad ultra running advice on Facebook. Check them out if you're into ultra running. The advice is fucking hilarious. And I made my first post ever asking for advice for my first ultra, and they totally delivered. And oh, that was one thing that I forgot to mention. The night before the race, all of this started, my carb loading meal was Mexican food, rice and beans. I love Mexican food. However, my body maybe doesn't usually eat beans in that quantity. You can see why that added to the crisis of the next morning. Anyway, so the ultra running advice was great. It slew me. One of the advice pieces, some of the advice were actually things that I had accidentally followed, like not sleeping the night before, carb loading on Mexican food, and I'm forgetting everything else. But there was a couple of things where I was like, yeah, so I accidentally did that. Yeah. Oopsies. Yeah. So I think the hardest part of the race was probably getting to the last aid station at the end of the second loop around the lake. I kept hallucinating that I was going to see it around every corner, and I didn't. My butt muscles were incredibly sore, and I ended up having to power hike, like I said before, a lot of the hills because my glutes just couldn't handle it. Everything else was pretty okay. Yeah. Towards that last 3 miles was rough, but I was re-energized knowing that I had gone past the last aid station and only had 3 miles to go to the finish. When we could see it, I kind of started getting emotional and definitely cried when I got to the finish line. It was completely crazy. When you cross the finish line, everybody starts clapping and yelling, and I guess most of the times at races when people clap and yell for you, I don't necessarily feel like it's that deserved, I guess. For myself, not for other people. But for myself, I don't feel like it's deserved. But this time was the one time where I was cheering on the inside for us. And was like, yeah, this definitely deserves lots of clapping and yelling because this was insane. It was so crazy. Yeah. After the race, I was super tired. Okay, so immediately after the race, I was pretty okay. My father-in-law brought beers for us and some cookies, and they had food, and so I drank a beer, we went and hung out, and I tried to take a nap. It was kind of difficult, because I was just so tired. I showered and oh my God, you don't know all the places you chafe until you take a shower, and it was horrifying. My butt cheeks, chafed in my butt cheeks. Didn't know that was a thing that could happen, but that's the one place that, ew, yeah, gross. So yeah, I survived. I only had 2 blisters, which was shocking. My feet were not completely destroyed. I was very hungry towards the end of the night, but like the usual, my stomach's not very big, and so I could only eat about half the dinner. We went out to eat. I had more beer, liquid carbs, and like a salmon sandwich. It was delicious, but yeah, very, very, very filling. And yeah, that was it. The end of my ultramarathon experience. I'm probably forgetting a bunch of details in there, but it was done. I felt a extreme sense of accomplishment when I got finished. It felt very surreal to say that I had done it and survived. And I guess I also felt like I was worried that it was a fluke, that this will be the only one I'm ever going to do. And that reminds me of the first time I wrote a book. I was like, is this the only book I'm ever going to write? Well, the answer is no, it was not. And I'm sure this is not the last ultramarathon I'm going to do. Yeah, but it is something that makes me proud, but that also at the same time worries me that I don't have the chops to do again, which is weird, right? I can't duplicate this success, but I can. I will. And I'm going to do better next time. So, my immediate plans. I'm not planning right now. I have no new races planned. I'm taking a couple weeks off. I've done some light running. I'm just at the end of one tremendous project like that took so long to get ready for and was such an emotional roller coaster. I had injured myself. I had to take time off. I was worried about doing it at all. You know, like, I need some time to decompress. And so I've tried to give myself that and to recover, because it's really hard on your body to run that far. So yeah, right now I don't know what I'm going to do next, what my plans are. I kind of have an idea of what I want to do, but I haven't put anything solidly together yet, but I will. So yeah, if you have any questions at all about what I did or what you'd want to know about doing that, fire them away. I am not like a talented runner at all. I'm just like an average person who signed up, and, you know, I've just been running for a long time now and did this. So like, I didn't follow any special diet. I'm not fast. I'm just stubborn. So yeah, Any road, that's it. I ran an ultramarathon. Woo! Another thing off my bucket list. So, on that note, sorry this is late. I just have been so busy. I haven't had time to sit down and really talk about this, but here you are. I will see you at the end of this month, on time this time. Here's hoping. Bye!